Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Gurung Pinoy. Make sure that you hit like, you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook page, and watch our videos from start until the end. Alright, now I am going to start our discussion on the different cell parts. I am going to use this website here called cellsalive.com. If you have a chance to look at this website, it's going to be very helpful for you in studying the different parts of the cell. Okay, now again we have two types of cell here that we're going to study today, the animal cell and the plant cell. We will start with the animal cell first, and let's take a look at its parts. Okay, we start with this big spherical body here, which usually composes the big part of your animal cell. This is called the nucleus. The name is there. The nucleus functions like the brain of your animal cell. By saying that it is the brain of the animal cell, I mean that it is guiding all the processes. It controls all the processes that happen inside the cell. Okay, so the nucleus again is like the brain of the cell. Now, inside the nucleus, you have a very important organelle. Okay, another important organelle that you have inside the nucleus, and you call that the nucleolus. These are the spherical bodies found inside the nucleus. Now, the nucleolus are important also because they make ribosomes. Okay, they are the ones that make ribosomes. Ribosome is this term right here, and I am going to explain its function in a little while. Another thing that you can find inside the nucleus are the DNA. Okay, DNA, that's capital D, capital N, capital A, and that actually stands for the deoxyribonucleic acid. It is the genetic information, genetic material that we find inside our cell. Okay, so genetic information can also be found in the nucleus. Again, the nucleus is the brain of the cell. It contains the nucleolus, which makes the ribosomes, and it also contains the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, which is genetic information inside the cell. Now we go to the next part, your ribosomes. Okay, so the ribosomes are those the dots. Kung nakikita po nyo, yan po mga tuldok-tuldok na yan, yung mga maliliit na bilog, yan po yung tinatawag nating ribosome. So, as I have mentioned a while ago, your nucleolus, which is found inside the nucleus, is the one that produces your ribosomes. Now, ano ba yung function ng ribosomes na to? Your ribosomes are very important because they make proteins. Okay, they make proteins or they synthesize proteins. If you hear the term synthesize in the let, or if you see it in the let, then that simply means produces or makes. Okay, so ribosomes make our proteins. Alright, now going out of the nucleus, you have this channel here. Okay, so meron kang channel dito na merong mga ribosomes nga, no? Yung mga maliliit na bilog dyan. And you call this your RAF-ER. May dalawa po tayong klase ng ER or Endoplasmic Reticulum, hindi po emergency room. We call this our Endoplasmic Reticulum. We have two types for this. The first one is the RAF-ER. The second one is the smooth ER. Now, the only difference, there are only two main difference between the two. Your RAF-ER is called RAF-ER because it has ribosomes. So, if you are going to view this under the microscope, it would look as if they're rough. Okay? So, pag tinignan po siya, it would seem rough dahil nga meron siyang mga bilog-bilog, which are your ribosomes. Now, in the case of your smooth endoplasmic reticulum, wala po siyang ribosomes, and so it looks smooth. Now, another difference is that your RAF-ER, since it contains ribosomes, at alam naman po natin, as I have mentioned a while ago, your ribosomes play important role in making of proteins. The function of your RAF-ER is also the same. It also functions in the making of proteins. While your smooth ER functions in the making of lipids or fats. Another function of your smooth ER is detoxification. Okay, so nangunguha po siya ng toxin, ng poison inside our body. Alright, so those are the rough ER and the smooth ER. Now, another thing that you can find here is your cytosol. Ito po yung cytosol or yung liquid part ng ating cytoplasm. Pag sinabi mo pong cytoplasm, it is everything inside the cell. Again, when you say cytoplasm, it is everything inside the cell minus the nucleus. So, if you can imagine the cell as isang bowl ng batchoy, okay? So, yung itlog mo, for example, would be the nucleus. And then you have the different ingredients there that are actually the different parts of the cell or the different organelles that we call. If you get the itlog, everything that's left behind inside the cell is already your cytoplasm. So, yung cytoplasm po is everything inside the cell minus the nucleus. Now, when you say cytosol naman, this is the liquid part of your cytoplasm. Okay, so yan po yung liquid part ng ating cytoplasm. Now, we go to the next parts of the cell. This one is mitochondrion. Mitochondrion is the singular form. The plural form for this is mitochondria. This is also very important because this is where the energy of the cell is formed. Ang form po ng energy na ginagamit ng cell natin is ATP. Okay? Capital A, capital T, and capital P. So, that stands for adenosine triphosphate. Okay? So, siya po, yung adenosine triphosphate natin, yung ATP, ang energy inside the cell, ay ginagawa siya inside the mitochondrion or yung mitochondria. Now, the process of making the ATP or the energy of the cell is called cellular respiration. Now, very important pong malaman nyo ang cellular respiration dahil ito po yung kabaliktarang process ng photosynthesis. Okay? So, mitochondrion, it is where cellular respiration happens, and cellular respiration is the making of the energy of the cell, which is called the ATP. Alright, now we proceed to the other parts here. This one is your peroxisomes. Your peroxisomes po, this would contain digestive enzymes. Meron po siyang digestive enzymes na, for example, yung hydrogen peroxide mo, okay, isang chemical na po pwede pong makatunaw ng mga hindi na kailangang parte ng ating cells. Okay, so that's why you call this peroxisomes. It has hydrogen peroxide, those digestive enzymes that can help digest those parts of the cells that are no longer needed. Okay, another thing that we have here is the vacuole. Yung vacuole po is also very important because it is like the storage of the cell. So, kung may mga crystals inside the cell, may starch, for example, may tubig, yan po ay makikita natin sa loob ng vacuoles. Yung vacuoles nyo po ay parang Tupperware. Yung vacuoles nyo po ay parang containers inside the cell. Now, another thing that we have here is the Golgi. Sometimes we call this the Golgi body, sometimes the Golgi apparatus. This one is like the packaging section of the cell. Okay, so packaging section of the cell po siya. If there is a material that the cell has produced, pag kailangan siyang i-modify, pag may mga changes na kailangan gawin, kailangan siyang isort or kailangan niyang hati-hatiin, ito ba ay kailangan inside the cell, within the cell, or kailangan bang i-transport ito outside the cell, or kailangan bang i-package ito, ilagay sa mga tinatawag nating vesicles, yan pong lahat ay nangyayari sa ating Golgi. Okay, so the Golgi is the packaging section of the cell. It is where the products are modified, sorted, or are transported. Okay, so that's your Golgi. Now, another thing that you have here is the lysosome. Halos magkaparehas po sila ng peroxisome. Yung lysosomes mo po would also contain digestive enzymes that can help us digest those parts of the cell that are no longer needed within the cell. Now, another thing that is also very important in an animal cell is that it has centrosome. Ang centrosome po ang nagiging source ng ating centriole. Okay, centriole. Ang centriole po ay napaka-importante sa cellular division kung saan hinahati-hati yung cytoplasm, yung mga laman ng ating cell, no? Especially if we are going through cellular division, we are going through reproduction. Okay, so that's your centrosome. Now, the other parts that we have here are your microtubules, micro and intermediate filaments. These are not very important. Structural proteins lang po sila. So, they form structures sa ating cell para maging sturdy ang ating cell. Hindi siya maging flaccid, hindi siya masyado maging soft. Okay? They also perform some functions in the movement of cells. Okay? Now, another thing that we have is the cell membrane. Now, another term for your cell membrane would be your plasma membrane. Okay? That's another term for that. Ang cell membrane po ay parang gate ng ating cell. Okay, so it controls the entry and the exit of materials to the cell. Now, sinabi ko kanina, yung Golgi ay parang packaging section ng cell. So, kung may kailangang i-transport outside of the cell, yung Golgi po ay magpipinch off lamang. Pipinch off meaning mapupunit lamang yung isang bahagi ng Golgi and magpo-form po sila ng vesicles. So, yung secretory vesicles, dyan po napapaloob yung mga substances na kailangang i-secrete outside of the cell. Alright, so those are the different parts of the cell. Now let's go to the next video to get the comparison between an animal cell and a plant cell.